And welcome back to an awesome segment 3 of Canon Fire with our infamous guest, Paul Anthony Llossas. In this little segment, he will be continuously berating Suicide Squad. Hope you enjoy it.
So how does this work? You talk first or I talk first?
You're the host
I am the host.
with the most.
I didn't even start the show. I'm the host. Oh, well, whatever.
Better late than never.
Hi, it's Adrian again.
Hi, Adrian.
Thanks, Paul. And this is our friend Paul.
Who's finally done eating?
You sure?
Took you a while.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it more than Suicide Squad?
Yes.
Guys, we can't be talking about this. This isn't a film. It's a film show, not a restaurant show.
Anyway.
We did not name the restaurant, which happens to be so we're good.
Anyway, now, in your review, which was honestly really scathing, almost probably more scathing than your Batman v Superman.
That's saying a lot.
It is. But considering you and I have chatted, you don't agree with me that the Ultimate Edition is at least 20 times better than the theatrical cut for BVS, and that you feel that it's still hollow. But you have no faith now, I would assume, in the DCEU. Do you? Or do you still have hope for Wonder Woman? You've been let down by at least 3 movies now, which are the 3 movies at the DCEU.
More than 3.
By the way, I've been trying to get Warner Brothers as a sponsor for a while, so this is not a great subject.
Well, they already have a dark bearded spokesman, basically licking their ass at every promo or anything, KS. But besides that, so you won't get hired for that. I'm sorry, but
I'm younger than he is.
So your plan is to outlive him?
yeah, but
We also do a podcast, my God. The similarities are uncanny.
Yes, you were about to say something.
New hashtag off the top of my head. Hashtag Trinity of Failure.
Trinity of failure?
Yes.
There you go. All right. He's the hashtag.
Okay, going back to your original question. So long as movies are being made, there's always going to be hope. Okay? Now, as far as their track record's concerned,
Would you say A New Hope?
no, I wouldn't. Absolutely not.
Dead hope.
I'm not going to cross franchises here. Or maybe.
But it's the 4th movie. Episode 4 was named The New Hope.
Yeah, but it was the first movie, so go figure. But regardless, I'm sure everyone in this table has heard that alleged open letter where basically has been said that Wonder Woman is in trouble. That's the same thing, even though the director has come up and said, no, we're fine, even though, well, you're making a movie for Warner Brothers. Of course you're going to say that, but the jury won't be out until the film comes out. Okay. Based on their track record, based on that they've had more than enough opportunity to see what the complaints are and still make the same mistakes, and in this case with Suicide Squad in the opposite direction. Okay, we're talking about a film that is obviously a patchwork because of its change in tone, in its editing, in the behind the scenes news and developments regarding certain performers and what ended up on the cutting room floor versus what didn't. And it's just a pistache of different movies or different movie tropes, but it doesn't make for a cohesive whole of a film. Now, is it fun in some respects? Yes, it is. The actors, for the most part, their performances were spot on with what they were given.
Right.
And if they existed in a vacuum. Okay? But you really want to push this New Hope thing into this.
I didn't say it.
You didn't have to.
Are you saying they're my minions?
Yes.
Yay!
I'm nobody's mini me.
Man, you're not mini anyone. He's a big dude.
No, but in all honesty, there could have been a really satisfying movie, but stylistically, as well as creatively, it's a mess. I'm not going to just sugarcoat it. It's a mess of a film.
Now, I'm kinda apparently one of the bigger DC supporters. Mostly because there's certain themes that I like, and I tend to see the potential more than most. However, actually no, but there's some fans, at least in the Facebook group, Fan Freaks join it, that are adamant that this was a great movie. I enjoyed it, but that they're adamant that this and BVS were great movies. I feel there's a lot of faults, but I feel they're trying to run before they can crawl, or at least walk at least. Yeah. But there's nuggets of wisdom there, and honestly, you were hitting the nail on the head. BVS, the critics ransacked it, destroyed it, and Kevin Tsujihara, the CEO of Warner, and amidst reports, he demanded different cuts of Suicide Squad because he saw the main criticism of BVS was that it was too dark. Now,
But here's where it shoots itself in the foot. The Suicide Squad is supposed to be dark. Okay?
and you're saying this as a fan of the original, as you have the original run
Let me
Ostrander's
go ahead
run.
and clarify that, because that's a pet peeve of mine, personally. That just because someone is a critic means that if they don't like something that you don't like, that means that it's not meant for them. I've been collecting the second run, Volume 2 of Suicide Squad, from its inception, from when the squad was first made known in Legends, the Legends miniseries, by John Ostrander and John Byrne. Okay, and then I followed it into the series, written by John Ostrander, with art by Luke McDonnell and later on Carl Cassell. Okay, and also his wife Kim Young. Suicide Squad was about the darkest that you could get in mainstream DC Comics that didn't have a Dark Knight or a joke in the title. Okay, so John Ostrander's take on this was that there's no such thing as evil, really. And comic books at that time was all black and white, good guys versus bad guys. But here the experiment was, let's take these villains and show that they're actually complex individuals. But we can't necessarily root for them, and that was an interesting balance that Ostrander was able to it was a tightrope that he could walk as a writer. You're not supposed to love Deadshot, but there are times where you can sympathize with him. The same thing with Nightshade. Same thing with the Bronze Tiger, who was basically in Katana's role in this film. And then you have Captain Boomerang, who's just basically a jerk and just leave it there.
Kind of like this movie.
Exactly. So that's pretty much the only thing they got right. No, okay, I'm being harsh on that. There are some things that they did get somewhat right, but they just went way off base with others. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not just approaching this as a critic. I'm also approaching this with a greater familiarity of the source material than most. Okay.
Well, I think it's fair to say that you were a fan way longer than you were a critic, right? So you already come from a base of knowledge, right? Not just experience it for the first time.
To be honest with you, when I first heard of Suicide Squad, really?
The camera loves me.
The camera does love you.
Now pay it, it's 20.
When I first heard of Suicide Squad, I didn't know any of these characters. I didn't know who Slipknot was. I still don't. Not the band. I didn't know who Enchantress was because I was like, they have an Enchantress? I thought Marvel had an Enchantress. I thought Marvel was the only one with an Enchantress. What?
Stop humming on the cables.
Oh.
You're making all these vibrations.
But they're good vibrations.
Just getting excited, people.
Yes.
But I didn't know, I kind of knew who Rick Flag was from some animated series, but I didn't know Enchantress, I didn't know Slipknot, I didn't know at least any of these characters. I kind of knew Boomerang because, he's a Flash villain. And I knew Deadshot because he's a Batman villain. And I knew Harley Quinn because, damn it, everybody knows Harley Quinn. But still, I didn't know who a lot of these characters were. But I approached it and liked it. But one of the things I've noticed is the same thing that's going on with Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, in that one of the glowing things about the DCEU is the music. Everybody's liking the soundtracks for these movies. Unfortunately, they're not music videos.
No, they're not. But when you're talking about the soundtrack for Suicide Squad, they're talking about the popular songs that are chosen, not the score by, I don't even remember the guy's name now.
No, not the score.
No,
but
not the score. It's the music choices. Right. But then the music choices, for the most part, fit the scenes that they were plugged into, to try to emotionally manipulate you into getting into the scene more. Right. Not so much as it enhancing the scene, but to elicit a response. Exactly.
Now, we have Wonder Woman, and we have Justice League. After that, it's getting kind of foggy. The director of Flash walked away, and now we got a new director for Flash. Flash is now getting a rumored buddy cop feel with Cyborg,
which has already been, that rumor's already been shot down.
Oh, it's already been shot down. Well, here's another rumor.
It was shot down in the Flash.
Sam Raimi is being looked at to direct Shazam. And word is Patty Jenkins, the director for Wonder Woman, depending on how Wonder Woman is received, is being looked at to direct Justice League Part 2, which is the one we're all assuming is going to have Darkseid. So, how do you feel about certain directors coming in and certain directors? Oh, another one, George Miller directing The New Gods. I loved Mad Max Fury Road. I love George Miller's work. I just don't know how New Gods is going to sell when barely anybody knows about New Genesis.
All right. First of all, unless the ink is dry on a contract, rumors are just rumors.
Oh, yeah, but there's fun in that.
But here's the thing. It's telling that there are so many rumors going about, because for these rumors to stem, there has to be some sort of creative upheaval going up at Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they always fill them
meaning they don't know, or at least the implication is they don't know what they're doing. They don't have a plan. Okay? That's the thing that Marvel has had from its inception, before Iron Man started to lens. They had a blueprint. They didn't follow it to the letter. They changed it, they amended it, and adapted it, exactly. But they had a plan going in. X amount of films, building up to Avengers. Once they reached that, then they created a new business plan, and so on and so forth. Right now, we've got Suicide Squad, okay, which was pretty much in the can before Deadpool came out. And once Deadpool came out, that changed the entire game. Right. All of a sudden, new reshoots. Okay, they had completed their primary reshoots, and they had to do second. Why? In order to change the tone so it matches the competition. For a studio that's trying to be anti the competition, they're taking a lot of their cues from it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a film that's very disjointed. Okay, a film that's not supposed to be a family-oriented, buddy type of environment.
Right.
This Suicide Squad should have been the darkest of all the films.
I'd like to chime in with this. That's my biggest pet peeve about Suicide Squad. This type of storyline where the villain is forced to do good, for altruistic reasons, all that was not played at all the way I see, like the comics cover it well, or better at least, where these guys are acting totally out of selfish reasons. They had their own agenda, and it was not played nearly enough during the movie.
If you want a good Suicide Squad movie, watch the animated feature Batman Assault on Arkham. That is perhaps the closest you will get to the Suicide Squad comic.
And on that note, we'll be right back after these words from our non-existing sponsor.
I want dessert.
And thus, segment 3 comes to an end. The chalk outlines have been completed. The facts are in. Suicide Squad needn't bother, because Paul just myrtleized them. I'd like to thank Paul Anthony Llossas of American Culture Critic. I could listen to him dissect a movie all day. So from Adrian Marquez, George Truly, Jim Ramos, and Julio Vidal, we'd like to thank 24/7 Miami and Louis Chacon, our home on the airwaves. And a big shout out to Fan Freaks, our family on Facebook. To Sam Owens of Hope's Comics, if you're in the neighborhood, drop by and visit him. And Irving Santiago of UltraCon. This Saturday, there's a free event going on that UltraCon is sponsoring at the Adrian Arts Center. We'll be there to cover it. Comic books and cosplay. Can't beat that combination. I expect to see you all there. Tune in next time for segment 4, where Paul continues to bring you the facts and nothing but the facts.